Barbara Rosenthal.
I'll get there.
Come in, come in.
We'll stand up.
Yeah, sure. Come
Here.
Hi. Hi.
There I am.
Welcome back, welcome back.
All 7 years.
Yes, I still have like a dark hair. The first Boddinale. Yeah, the first Boddinale, you were in town to do a vernissage and somehow you heard about it and then you wrote like, hey, you're doing this, I have this, you wanna do that? And then, since then, you came back.
I tend to sort of do this, walk in and say, hey, I've got this stuff.
There was a couple of years that you just said that you were not in my group, but for the rest?
Yeah. There was 1 year I didn't possibly, but I think there was just one that I couldn't quite get here. Because those first years I was here several times a year.
So,
Doing a lot of stuff.
who is Barbara? What is you? How it is to be you?
Well, I'll tell you, I've suddenly been called in these last couple of years from a performance video piece thing, when the projection was on me in London 2 years ago. I'm not going to be modest about this at all. I was called the old master of new video. And then I wanted to come back.
When you deserve it. When did you start? When you made your first video?
1976, and it was on screen here last year. A whole series of pieces that I did with my video mentor, Bill Preston. I made the first video with him in 1976, and all the video pieces that...
76 was basically either you had like millions of dollars to buy film to shoot, or you were not doing anything.
Bill was shooting Super 8 by 1976.
Yeah, but that was the kind of the early. I mean, it was still very few people experimenting with video like them outside of the big Hollywood production or whatever.
Very few. I had an open reel half-inch Sony Portapack, which you may have heard of at that time, but I had bought it used from Lauren Ewing. There were definitely, Bill had started, he was one of the first 5 video artists in the world. I was really lucky to just meet him at a school. We were both teaching him when I was 22 and 36, and had started the programs at Cooper Union and the School of Visual Arts with his equipment. And before that, his video was called CD video, which was cut with a knife in the mid-1960s. So he started before me, and then there were people that moved ahead, but a lot of them don't really exist anymore, and a lot of people sort of fall out of the art world, a little bit over time. But partly for me, it's not just because I started video that early, but because of the way that I'm mixing so many genres, which of course got me punished for so many decades. Well, I'm not going to hire you to teach photography because you also did video. I've had to put up with a lot of that. But now it seems to be much more welcoming to the kind of mixed image, text, performance, photography that I'm doing, and I'm looking seriously toward the very end of my life. I'm 71 now, so I've really been getting my archives really together, and there's tons and tons of stuff, and making sure that all of the videos that I've made, which is over 130, have been transferred, which over time from half-inch open reel to three-quarter pneumatic to VHS to, you know, like all these years. I'm trying to go back to some of the original pieces and digitize them because finances were always, you know, very tight. So I would sort of upgrade from the copy of the piece that was made before, but it's become much more important to me as more people around the world are responding to my work, to have it and buying it. I was for the first time in my life and paying me talks that these pieces are actually worth the money that people are beginning to pay for, and that I will leave this world with the best quality from the original camera material.
Did it change the meaning of your pieces for you, like looking back? Because when you were doing it, it was natural for you to do that. You were not thinking, oh, I am doing it something strange. You were like, I'm doing it because it has to be done in this way, and I want to express it this way. But as you said, now, the technology landscape changed. There is a different understanding of what you were doing back then, and a lot of people are changing the way they understand you. My question is, when you go back and see your own earlier works, do they mean something else to you now?
I don't know. The earlier works are shown as much as the later ones, when they're shown at all. And the web is really wonderful. YouTube, Vimeo, and my own website, which I try to link all of that. If anyone doesn't know what they want to do in life for a career, I totally have been trying to get people to do websites in perpetuity. Someone to keep websites going after their owners die, because a lot of material out there is going to be missed. But at any rate, that has allowed a lot of the old work.
This is a serious problem, by the way. Like all the production from the 90s and the early 2000s, the internet is gone. Because it was made by people that just bought a domain and put stuff there, and then paid 1 year, disappear, and most of the, there was portals that don't exist. There was a GeoCities in the 90s. There was a kind of like a grandfather of Facebook somehow, and there were tons, millions of ideas there. And then they shut it down, and they shut down the entire archive with that. And it's a serious problem because it will happen again and again. And you're right, that would be something that is needed, like to have a permanent, like someone promised that this website will be for 100 years.
Like you can have a grave site in perpetuity, and then someone will, you pay something at the beginning, and then, or your family pays for that, and then somebody keeps the grass sign, or whatever they do, but I think that's really needed.
There was an article, I think that 10 or 15 years ago, that printed the entire Wikipedia, just printed all of it. And it was a tower like this. And at that moment, that was the entirety of Wikipedia. And until now, that one is still more permanent than the real Wikipedia, because it's on paper. It's insane to think that, yeah, basically digital doesn't last somehow.
Yeah, paper will last, a while. I've been doing some work actually on vellum, because vellum lasts even longer than paper. I'm still trying to process the question. The ideas, I trained myself for decades to absorb all of the life, look at the little things that it's going to turn into art. So a lot of the work that I've done not just in the past, but ongoing, it has involved my children, grandchildren, my kids don't want to see it with my things. Or they've involved things I've done with my students, or things that I haven't just see. So, like, that kind of aspect of my work and the mix of art and life, without getting into ephemeral things like politics, which I've been taken to great task for not addressing directly in my work. That's such a big part of documentary things. That all of this stuff kind of comes out of my head and out of my direct experience. And I run, kind of everything is silly and everything has its own kind of mentality. So very much of the pieces that I've done that are performance-based have an absurd quality to them. I don't know how much you absorbed from what was on the screen right now, and of course, everything was benefited by a less gray screen. So I wanted the feeling of things coming out of deep space. And what there is here is it's a video based on a set of photographs called surreal, like 35mm photographs, which I shoot all over the world. So that you can't really tell where they're from, but you get a sense that they're almost always these slanted, unbalanced kind of pieces in them. So what I did with the stationary works that are on the wall is take the surreal photographs and straighten up the interiors, which of course is the exterior, inside, tummy on the outside. So what this video does is more from the surreal into the conceptual, which is distorted, and then from a distorted photograph back into the next surreal and back and forth.
But you didn't answer my question.
Yes, you did.
No, I want to know basically, because especially the artists, the kind of artists like you are, that are in a way like compulsive and natural, that you, obsessive, but usually they are driven from the moment, the now. In this moment, this image touched you, and you have to play with it, and you want to touch it and make it yours, or make it from everyone. So your process is very immediate somehow. Not immediate because it's fast, but immediate because it's a reaction, and then you try to grab the reaction. So you are in that unique position where you can look back and you can see things that were made in a different era, where they were made with a different technological field around you. And yeah, I'm curious to know how you that know what was going on in your mind back then see that, if I may.
Well, I've had a big history of
You think it was going to be easy? You want to sit down?
No.
Okay.
I really do think there's anyone. But you because
No, I'm fine. I was joking.
I don't know who it was, unfortunately, who said that artists were writing in some 1% inspiration and 99% inspiration. But that is, maybe that's part of that the idea comes, but then what I make of the idea keeps talking back to me, that it wants me to change it and keep doing something else. So the technology, which I never learned, I had to be a day and then a day in painting, which, by the way, is one of the reasons that people have it so hard. Because that people have pointed out to me is one of the reasons that I use the whole screen all the time to do things. That the screen is not like a flat surface that something is projected onto, but that different things are happening in different sections of it, and different types of spaces are using different. Sometimes I actually divide the screen into different parts of what's happening in it. So
in a way, it's like not, there's, by the end of the process, it's not just one, the original idea, it's not the only thing that is there, but there is like a complex system that in a way, today, looking back, we're still unable to re-navigate. Am I right?
Yeah.
And it's good that, I mean, probably it's not humanly possible to refill it. So I understand that. Okay. I declare the question answered. I'm satisfied with that. Is there any questions, guys?
Anything, this is your I'm off tomorrow to Bari, and then I've got speech people at the Academia in Lecce, and then I'm reading from my novel, which took over 40 years to actually finish and post, at the bookstore in Lecce, and then we've been doing performance video activities in Ferrara and Bruzzi, and then street performance piece in Milan next week. So I'll be in Europe.
Be careful with that, because in Italy right now
Yeah, I know, and right, the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And I don't actually have to go to Milan because it's a guerrilla thing, but I get my rings from a hotel there and to fly out of Milan. So we'll see, close to the end of my life. Somehow, so. Well, he's 88 now, he's with an aide, he stuffed up the toilet twice since I've been with David. The aide has quit, there's a new aide, the person feeding my turtles has quit, and she's how's Bill? He's usually very calm and happy.
Good for him. Good for him. But then, Barbara, have a beautiful stay in Europe, and no one will see you again. As I mentioned, it's important to say, Boddinale invented a prize just for her. That was 5 years ago, or 4 or 5, because we had this idea. We were at Lupo back then. It was me and the other guys running the place, and we were sitting down and like, yeah, but we should give her a prize. But you cannot make a prize for feature movie because it's not a feature, it's not a documentary, so we didn't know what to do, and then in the end we created one. It was given only once that time, and since then we haven't found another one to give, another person to give, and it's the Independent Life Award. That is, she's probably the sole representative that we have met so far that really deserves, so here you are. Now we take an half an hour pause and then we continue. Enjoy.
Ja, hier war noch Fleisch. Ich war der Burger.
Ein Veganer. Ein Veganer, Burger, aber wahrscheinlich.